Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a new video on my humble little channel. This is a hardware video. This is for the SIDfx dual SID solution, the most advanced and easiest solution yet. You can mix and match, you can put in whatever chips you like, and it will adjust voltages and such automatically, so you don't need to configure it in hardware, which is very nice. And you have some ports here where you need to put these wires. It's all explained in their manual very thoroughly. Please check the description for links to these places. So you have these 4 ports. This is for audio out, and the 2 in the middle is for switches, and the third one says bus. And bus is the one, oh, it's all tangled up here. This is for the bus port, and these are small grabbers. And these have to latch on to specific places on the motherboard. Pins of some chips. And you need those if you want to run real stereo. You don't need them if you just want to run dual mono or just switch between one chip and the other chip. But might as well configure it for everything. So yeah, let's just take the motherboard now, which I have conveniently already opened up and ready to go. So this is the sound chip. This is the reloaded motherboard. It of course works in all kinds of Commodore 64 motherboards. Also the Commodore 128 also works. There are instructions in their manual for all motherboards, so you are covered. Anyway, you take, ow, these heat sinks are very sharp. You take out the SID chip you have in there now, and you put in this one. And in the case of the reloaded motherboard, it needs to be configured to 6581 operation. So you put this in. If you want to use this dual SID solution on the reloaded motherboard and have it in a C64C case, it's too high. But it can you can order an adapter, so it actually is going to sit here, lower, upside down. So what you do now is you connect the wires. I'm going to start with the bus wire, and you put it in. You can only put these in one way. And you have these 3. And then you just look in the manual where to put them. So the blue one and the green one need to go to A5 and A8, and they are both on the CPU. So, and this blue one need to go to pin 12 on the CPU, which is A5. So you just count to 12 from, sorry about that, that was my phone. 1, 2, 3, and 11, 12. That's this one. And green needs to go to pin 15 of the same chip. So 12, 13, 14, 15. The last one, the yellow one, needs to go to IO1, which is found on pin 7 on the expansion port. So same procedure, count to 7 from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's a good idea to double and triple check that you have it connected to the right pins. Now, this is actually a good and easy solution. I don't know how much I trust these when the case is closed, so I want to let's route this wire, is something like that, up here, like that. Yeah. So route the small wires a little bit in some way, any way you can. And then I'm gonna drop some hot glue a couple of places on each so they stay there. And then maybe put a little strip on them as well. This one is a little bit more tricky because there is the keyboard connector. So it has to be kind of up high. It can also be twisted a bit like this. Maybe that's better. Just have it like here, maybe. And then I'm gonna drop some hot glue right here. I think that's a good plan. Okay, then you have a couple of switches. They look like this. They each have a purpose, which I'm gonna explain later. So switch 1, you can just have them hang out of the case if you want, but it's more neat to drill some holes and hook up the switches, and I'm gonna do that. So switch 1 is here, and switch 2 is here. There. The last one, it says out. I don't know if you can see that because of my crappy camera, but it says out. Beside the port, that's the mini jack out. And you can control however you want your chips to behave. You can have dual mono, you can switch between them, and you can have real stereo. You can do whatever you want. And it will output that through this mini jack. So there you go. Then you put in the chips you want. I'd like 6581 on the left channel, which is here. Well, ideally you can put in the chips before you install the dual SID. And in the second one I have some chips here. 85, 81, I'll take this one. And put that as the second one. I want it like that. Because I'd like the option for dual mono. Dual mono sounds very nice with one chip in the left and the other chip in the right channel. But I'd also like to isolate them if something sounds wrong on one of them. And then of course real stereo. Real stereo sounds so, well, I don't know the word. Let's just say cool. That sums it up. Okay. So, this is all you have to do to get up and running. Now it works. You just have to get a hold of their configuration program, which is a PRG file. You can download it from their homepage. All the links are in the description below. So, but before I fire this up, in software, I have to install these on the case. But before I do that, I have to like finish these up and hot glue it. So I'm gonna take out, again, the switches and the output. You can secure these wires in any way you like. Maybe it's not necessary, but I'd like to do it. It's for my own peace of mind. So I hot glue it specific places. For safety's sake, I'm gonna stay away from chips or components. Here. So now I adapt a little hot glue there and there and there and there, so they don't move, but I'm still gonna like strip them together, not tightly, just so they don't spread apart. There. So now that's all set up very well, I think. So now I'm gonna install the switches in the case. So I figured I'd like the mini jack out just above the video port, and the two switches I'd like on the back right of the computer. But I have to take into account this thing. So I think one of them is gonna be on one side and the other one on the other side. So to make sure they're on the same height, I'm gonna draw a line. There. And then one of the sides here. And the other side is here. Yeah. There. And this one is just, yeah, right there. Okay. So now I need to measure how big the holes have to be with one of these. Not sure what they are called in English. In Danish they're called skydelærer, which is funny because it translates directly as shooting teacher, but, well, I don't know. 5.98, 6.00, 6.012, so 6 millimeter. But I'm gonna drill with a smaller one first, like just a pre-drilling. I don't know which one. I'm gonna take this one, half size, 3 millimeter. There, that was not precise, but I'd rather have it fluctuate here than here, because if it fluctuates in height, it looks weird when the switches are in different height. Yeah, that seems about the same. This one. There. So it was 6mm, and this drill was exactly 6mm, so it may be too small, but we'll have to see. Okay, it's a little bit too small, so I'm gonna take 6.5mm. There. Okay. It just fit in there. Just fit. So if you do this, if you do it the same way, space the holes a little bit further away from this thing. And put this on and tighten it down. That looks pretty nice. I can live with that. So, the audio out thing here, that's a 7.6, 8, 7.7, so that's an 8, definitely an 8. There. So the hole is very well and good, and it fits snugly in there. But I'm a little worried about the protrusion. It's not much. I don't think I can fit this ring over it and tighten it, but I am gonna try. Wow. Wow, it did work. It worked. It fits. Holy crap. Lady Luck is shining on me. Let me see if the plug fits now. Well, some of you may think of course it fits, but because the ring is higher than the plug surface, so let's see how it feels. It feels nice. I think it fits very nicely. So that's cool. And switch 1 and switch 2. Switch 1 is the SID switch, and I want that to be the inner one, so that's this one. And the outermost switch, switch 2, the profile switcher. Last but definitely not least, wow, so much plastic, the audio out. Put that in here. There, it's all connected. So, I can close the case now. So, I should have been more careful when placing the audio out, because I wanted that in the middle, just above the video port, and it's not quite in the middle. That's a little sad, but whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the configuration program which I downloaded. Alright, the first switch here should be the profile switcher. Left, center, right. Yep. And as you can see down here, just check the, I'm grabbing this at the same time, so see it on the other screen. Right down here. This is switch 1. Left, center, right. And if you hooked up the 3 grabber things correctly, then stereo is yes, otherwise no. And you can see which SID chips it found in the sockets, which is correct. So that's nice. Then you can set 3 profiles with the first switch here. Well, that is switch 2 on the board. That's up here. So let's just take the left here. Playback. Mono, as an example, and you can, instead of auto, you can choose only SID 1 and only SID 2, which makes sense if you have, if they are different, 6581 and 8580. Or you can have SID 1 and SID 2, which is dual mono, and that is one of my preferred settings. It sounds very nice with one chip in one speaker and the other in the other. And then there is stereo. And you can choose which addresses the SID chips has to be at. But 420 is the most normal thing. And, oh, I was about to press Control to get to the center here. PC habits. I have set it so this is the default setting when you fire up the program. And this is dual mono, which I really like. And this is stereo at 420. So that's my 3 settings. So I don't really need to visit this program anymore. Once you have set it like you want, press F8 to save. And then that's it. I prefer to power cycle it at this point. When we left the setup screen, it was set up for the second profile, which was mono, SID 1 and SID 2. So mono 6581 there and mono 8580 there. So I'll show you a few music pieces. So one that sounds nice is Blood Money. In the beginning especially. I have hooked up this directly. The sound is hooked up directly. So you're hearing the sound as it exits the computer. So make sure you're listening to this video in stereo speakers. Okay, let's have let's have a second example, which is Crazy Comets. I took some notes. So, when the stereo, well, not the stereo, the dual mono effect is best when there are these noise sounds, and Rob Hubbard usually uses these noise sounds in his music. So dual mono effect is very nice on most of his tunes. But See, now I can adjust the SID switch. So listen carefully. Now I choose 6581, which is left. Back to dual mono. And 8580 right. So it's very convenient to have the ability to switch at will. And dual mono again. Third example, human race. Subtune 2. Subtune 2 is coming now. Yeah. But of course there are many things you can't really hear. The difference between the two chips, so it will most likely sound like only one chip is playing, like kilowatt. Sounds almost the same. So this is kilowatt. Oh, let's take left 6581. And right 8580. And back to dual mono. So there is not much of an effect there. And many are like that. Then there are, of course, pieces that sound very different on the two chips. You know, Subtune 9. Here. That's the dungeons. Okay, let's go left. 6581. That's the way it should sound. 8580. The thumping sound is completely gone on that chip, which is normal, unfortunately. Stereo. I mean dual mono now. So I guess that's enough example for dual mono. So, I'm going to show you one example, a real stereo. So I'm going to choose the profile switch all the way to the right, which I set up for stereo. And then you have the power cycle. Power cycle, you can also reset the machine. Either reset or power cycle for the profile switch to take effect. SIDfx music photos. So this is real stereo. Now this one doesn't sound exactly as intended, because it's meant for two 8580 chips, and one of those I have in mind is 6581, so it sounds a little different than the composer intended it to sound. Still sounds good though. Oh, and my favorite part is coming up now. A little after 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find more stereo music for it. So I'm gonna show you one more dual mono example, which I forgot to show you actually. So let's go back to dual mono on the Switch here. And I'm gonna show you a game which has some noise effects. By the way, the noise thing in the SID is mostly used for sound effects in games anyway. So I'm gonna show you the game Hero. Alright, let's start with 6581. Okay, so the sound effects from the helicopter. This is just 6581 and just 8580. Not much of a difference, but listen closely when I take dual mono. Again, listen to this in stereo speakers. Now isn't that just enjoyable? It sounds so nice. So, I think that pretty much concludes this video. It all works very well. I can recommend this very, very much if you are into the SID. It's very enjoyable. A very enjoyable setup. So thank you very much for watching this video all the way till the end, and if you liked it, you can hit the like button, and you can get subscribed if you want to see more videos. It will mostly be gameplay videos, though these times I'm not releasing that many videos, but I will release videos, and hope you're having a great day. So take care, good people. Bye bye.